Insert inventory. Free slots. Insert inventory.
It is much alive. I will say.
I'm gonna say that over again. Welcome, good night, everyone, to the Brothers of Steel. This is Game Talk on a Wednesday night, and we'll be looking at No Man's Sky. And is it dead or not? Dart Fred Forsaken, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, so what we talking about tonight? What is the big issue with No Man's Sky?
Well, with No Man's Sky, you know, it was a game that is very controversial. But main reason why we're talking about it tonight is because come July 24th, we will be seeing it being available on all platforms, because it'll be coming to the Xbox July 24th with a new update and a big update also titled Next. And this update will be getting the multiplayer element that, you know, we have been waiting for quite a while, even from since launch.
Fred.
Yes.
No. When you say we, I say Fred. No. This is not a situation where I'm agreeing with Fred. I have not been waiting for it, but Fred, you may continue.
Alright, so the main reason why we'll be discussing this tonight is because Forsaken and I, we had a little bump in the road when it came to the agreement with this game. Forsaken's views are still the same, that it's still crap, and I beg to differ. So this is why we're here to settle and debate this topic tonight. So it's not you know, our usual talk about our views for this game and that. Tonight is actually going to be a heated debate, and I'm siding with No Man's Sky for 2018, and Forsaken, he's against it. So I don't know, Forsaken, do you want to start your input first, or you want me to say my input? I think you should start first. I will give you first preference.
It isn't first preference, it's, you know, first whatever. And let's not go there right now, Fred, but I think at the end of the day, No Man's Sky has finally reached the point with their latest update, No Man's Sky, adequately named Next. Because to me, it feels like they finally reached the point where they should release the game, what they should have given to us 2 years ago in 2016. Over the years, they've been trying, they've been giving us various, and if I remember correctly, they give us various changes according to the years. It's just
yes, we had like about three updates from since launch. I would say three major updates. We had first Foundation, which was about roughly 6 to 8 months after launch.
Yep.
We then had Pathfinder, which was the second big update, and then we had the most recent one, Atlas Rises. So continue.
So as you can see, Fred is now an avid No Man's Sky person. So I love the fact about it, especially with procedural gameplay and stuff, but at the end of the day, I got disappointed. Fortunately, I wasn't one of the few who funded the game at the initial start, because I was kind of skeptical about it. But it has turned around and reached the point where it's looking surprisingly great. They finally add multiplayer so you can play with friends and narrative, and the price tag has been bumped up to full game status now. I mean, usually games at this point in their life, 1-2 years past, the price would drop. Instead, we see for this, the price goes up to full $60. And I guess that's mainly because they are adding this new content update, which in their book finally finishes the game. And they're also releasing it to the Xbox. So to give it a fresh lease on it for people who are probably going to buy it now, they're like, let's pump it back up to full price and see if we could recoup the investment we made over the years, adding the additional content to the game.
So then, my question to you, Jonathan, right, is that you're stating from you were one of the few or I shouldn't even say the few, we were one of the many who were upset with the game when it first launched.
I just pointed out I didn't spend money. I said
No,
I was
but-
skeptical, upset,
Right,
not really. As far as I concerned, it was he had so much he wanted to do for the game that he literally did nothing besides build the environment for the game. And in my book, from how he was talking about the game and talking about what the game would have, especially coming to the launch, I expected more. And I think it was like a punch in the face for gamers who invested in them with the economy. And to turn around and do this, it was bad. And then he went radio silent, as we all know, that small stint where we thought he basically disappeared from the face of the earth with everyone's money. And then, he came back later, talked about it, they did the update. And that's why we're here now to try to decide, well, at the end of the show, to say, is it worth it to get the game now and pay the full price for it? But you know what? Let me go with it just for this topic and for you to put your points across, Fred. Let's say I'm disappointed, like how badly the others were disappointed with the game to the point they were trying to burn them at the stage. So you go with the assumption that that's what I'm saying, Fred, and let me hear your point.
Right. Well, you see, and you see this to me, No Man's Sky is a game that will go down in history. To be very honest, we know
infamy, not history. It will go down in infamy.
Okay, Mr. English teacher.
Are we starting the timers now?
No. What timers?
We're gonna be talking. I'm just gonna be talking.
Well then, some people.
Oh, you wanna allocate?
Listen. I don't want anyone talking over anybody.
Oh, okay.
All right. Okay,
So I'm still gonna time it. Frederick, you have 3 minutes.
Nah. Give me 5 minutes. Yeah, give me 5 minutes.
Hold on,
Your
okay.
talk is about an hour. Give me 5 minutes.
Okay, you have 5 minutes from now. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Alright. So No Man's Sky, when it launched, I would say, it was a game that many were hyped for, and it showed how much hype can break or make a game. Alright. From quite 2013, we were introduced to the game, or we were told of the game, and Sony, they were backing Sean as the head developer of Hello Games, and he's also the owner and creator for No Man's Sky. They were backing him strong, especially considering that he is an indie studio. So for a big giant like Sony to be backing an indie studio to that extent, where they were like pushing advertisement and whatnot, and they basically getting the hype train rolling, it showed a lot. And when the game did launch, it showed how much hype can destroy a game, because with hype you get expectations. So he was stating that it will be let me check my notes here. What he said the game would have been. It would have been like a game like no other. Did that fit the criteria, or did that check out at the end? Yes, it was like a game like no other, both in a positive and a negative way. I mean, a game like no other where it receives so much hate. I would say even more hate than Star Wars Battlefront 2, especially with the loot box scenario. But it was also a game where, procedural generation, just like Minecraft. Yeah, Mr. Speaker. You don't have to tell me how much time I have. I know how much time I have. Right? So it was like that game, what I'm saying, like Minecraft, but this time on a larger scale. It's like a galaxy. It stated how many years. Jonathan, if you have time, you can check it for me. I can't remember how much years they actually stated it will take for you if you wanted to visit every planet in the game. I think it's so much that our own solar system, our own sun, will actually burn out before you can actually visit each planet. And that's being like you taking 1 second to visit each planet. But as I digress, and I mean the game, it was where it was like many people say that he made promises, and this is where I know I have a little issue with. Because I won't say he made promises, because hold him accountable for stating that, he was selling the game as a multiplayer game and it will have multiplayer experiences. But from his interviews, he was basically stating is like, it will have multiplayer, but the chances of you actually meeting up with someone was so slim. And this is where I think he was trying to cover himself, because in the earlies, where we dig for files and stuff like that, we did see where they were working on a multiplayer element, but at launch we all know it didn't come with that. But he was really and truly selling the game for
You have a minute.
solo gameplay. So at launch, I wasn't merely disappointed with the game where I was like, yo, I want back my money, because I view the game as, yo, just me, just chilling. Like, yo, let me explore, let me take my time, and let me, enjoy the game, enjoy the environment that he has created. So yeah, I'll cut it there for now, and let's hear Jonathan's review on that aspect.
Okay, so we start the timer for me now. Alright, let's start off. First off, the quote what Frederick. Yes, I have the timer, just talked over me, Fred. First off, to quote what Fred was saying about how long it would take to explore the universe. Supposedly there were over 18 quintillion planets in the universe, and we have to think it would take approximately 585 billion years, roughly more than 42 times the age of the current known universe, to explore all these planets. So you're kind of right. I'm not sure what will happen, because I can't remember exactly how long our universe has left again. But yeah, it would take a ridiculous amount of time to explore all the planets in the game. And really and truly, this will be a topic for another day. Exploration and completion of games is a kind of trophy hunting scenario. It has never really been a focal point of games until the achievement era, which is what we're in right now, where people are chasing after trophies. And I think that was one of the biggest selling points of No Man's Sky, the fact that you can't complete it. Because you play games and it's a finite, well, it don't feel finite for No Man's Sky, but you understand where I'm coming from, right, Fred? Yeah, so it don't feel like, it wasn't supposed to feel like, oh, I reached the end of the universe, that's it, game over, there's nothing left to do. Most of the other planets, that's it, it's over. He didn't want it to be like that. I think he wanted No Man's Sky to be this long-running game where he would constantly add content and stuff. But at the same time, the game was so bare bones when it was released. It didn't even have a solid story content. So this is what you give people after all this talk, after all this hype. There was literally nothing to do besides explore and, mine and farm stuff. You don't do that. It's disappointing. So much money was put into it. And to me, and as well as many gamers and as those who funded the project, it felt, as I said earlier, it felt like he punched us in the gun, took our wallets, took their wallets and ran off. But the improvements coming along, we're seeing development, we're seeing changes, there's finally multiplayer content, there's story content to be added, there's so much he's added and finally bringing it out that it brings us to this point where we're talking about, is the game actually worth it? And I don't want to rush my decisions to the end because we have a lot of time, we have a lot more things to talk about. But let's go on to why gamers were disappointed in my book, besides the fact that the game was
You have 2 minutes.
I will add on another minute for him, since he wants to introduce a little topic, Mr. Speaker. So I will give my opponent an extra added on minute. You may continue.
I would finish the topic within the time we have, Fred. Please stop interrupting me. Yeah.
I did not
The
interrupt
main
you.
thing. Fred.
Yes,
Don't
first
start.
taken.
You're wasting time. Okay.
Am I
let me
wasting
continue.
time? You have time to talk. Go ahead, talk. The
Time
viewers
is
in there
paused.
watching.
Mr. Frederick, please desist from
Mr. Speaker,
making
I
any
ain't
more.
doing nothing.
Can you
I ain't do
please
nothing.
refrain?
Mr. Speaker, this is biasness. It's because I'm black. Alright. I realize how it's a race thing too. Continue.
All of us are black.
I don't know.
All right. Let's continue. That enough for this. Not this topic right now. So
Time has resumed.
Oh my god, I lost my chain of thought. Why are you evil so? Anyway. Basically, the point I was coming to was why I think gamers were disappointed, even though it was a bare bones game with no real story content. Because if you want to remember, there was a certain game with procedural generated content that was out that had no story content and thing, but it was doing fine. And I wonder if you know what game I'm talking about, Fred.
No.
Minecraft.
Okay.
Yeah, Minecraft is, basically run around, build stuff. And that's what you could do in No Man's Sky. So why all the hate? Well, we know why all the hate. Promises were made. Arguably, he didn't say the words, I promise, or at the start, or you will have from day one of release. He made statements that were taken and interpreted as promises for content we were expecting to have in the game on its release, and it did not have on its release.
On a point
which
of
was
information.
disappointed. Go on.
Well, whose fault is that? It's not his fault. It's we as gamers. We heard something and we misinterpreted what he stated, and we went off expecting that. Because we were expecting something, we gave ourselves that expectation, and because we did not get that, we were disappointed. But why hold him merely responsible for that?
Because he's a developer. But let's
So
not
then
go
what?
there yet. Let's not go there yet. We have more
I'll
time
come back
for
to
that. And Max, I want my time back because, as you see, I gave Fred his chance to talk and he gets interrupted.
Frederick
But let's
Frederick
not go
spoke
there.
for 30 seconds.
Yep.
What?
I'll
Ask
take
for a
that
point of
time back
information.
later. I will take that time back later. I don't want that time now, so Max minus that 30 seconds right now. So if I have to finish up for Fred to talk, we could do that.
Based on
But,
the minute,
Fred-
minute that Frederick gave you, you have approximately 2 minutes 30 seconds.
All right, so that 30 seconds, I'll take it back in the end. I'll use it to interrupt Fred when I get the chance. But Fred, you're really defending Tim. And I think it's because, unlike a certain game that to this day Fred will never forgive, even though they're trying to fix the bug, it's ours. But I think at the end it's because the game's still enjoyable without all the additional content there. But let's move on to the next topic here now, Fred. Is it worth the $60?
Well, you see, no, you made a statement earlier that you were stating that the game now is launching at $60. But I think the game when it first launched was $60. If I'm not mistaken, I think I actually did pay $60 because I was one of the few who paid the money at the start. So I think I paid full price for the game, and I can understand why a lot of people they could be like, okay, you're upset that you paid $60 and you got a game that to many felt incomplete, and I can agree with them with that at certain points. Yes, at certain times the game felt repetitive because we didn't have a proper story line. And when the game launched, everybody was criticizing him, criticizing the game, and when he did go radio silence, everybody was like, oh, so wait, he just took our money and left. But there's a big but. Refunds were offered because the game was so it made international news, if I'm not mistaken. Amazon actually offered refunds, and you know how when you buy games digitally they say you cannot refund the game, which is why I'm upset with Star Wars, because I want back my money for that bull crap that I spent and it's crap, but offered refunds for No Man's Sky. So you see, at the end of the day, I decided that I won't refund it. But even though the game did felt repetitive, to say that to pay $6 for it, no, I would still say wait for it on a sale. No, I'm not saying that the game is bad. The game is actually better off compared to when it was at launch, because with the Atlas Rising update, actually, we got 13 plus hours of story-driven content. So many people who will be getting the game now, you know, it will be you will actually be getting a game where there is a story going along with it. You know, for us, when we got the game, when we got the story, it was like, oh, you logged in today, okay, well, here's the story. But I would say wait for it on a sale. But to talk about the game and its development and maybe reasons why, you know, it launched, let's say, incomplete, we have to also understand that, yo, this is an indie studio. This is like how many people working on Hello Games. It's like about 29, 25 people max. It's not a big studio. There's not 100 people and they're working on this one game. It's 25 people, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Blood leading up to the release of the game, and a fire. So these are things that set back a game. And again, remember, we were rolling with hype. So rolling with hype and expecting a game, you know, that they say, yo, we're releasing No Man's Sky. It's like us waiting for what? Final Fantasy VII Remake. How long we waiting on that game now? How long they announced this game and we still waiting for it? And Borderlands 3. How long? You understand what I'm saying? So it's like we want as an indie studio, you don't have, let's say, a following, right? Because remember, Final Fantasy have their following, Borderlands have their following in terms of their fan base. So their fan base will always be there. But Hello Games, yo, they're not coming out. So if you have these people and they're actually willing to want to play a game, I can understand why you might rush it. But they pull out Ubisoft. Alright?
I'm not getting to you with that Ubisoft again, Fred.
And then they pull out Ubisoft. Let's be real. Okay, let's ask the viewers and ourselves, like, yo, I want to know what the viewers think pulling out Ubisoft when you hear pulling out Ubisoft is. Because if you don't know, this is my definition, and this is why I think many people say pulling out Ubisoft is. Ubisoft launches games that we know are incomplete and not finished. And that is rather disrespectful, especially for a big developer and studio such as Ubisoft. Games such as Division, launched, disappointing. Rainbow Six Siege, launched, disappointing. For Honor, launched, disappointing. Even Ghost Recon Wildlands at one point, but I think Ghost Recon Wildlands launch was a bit more successful. The PvP element that they added afterwards boost the game. But what happened? Division, after its launch, all of a sudden became popular once more. Rainbow Six Siege, yo, everybody playing Rainbow Six Siege now. Down to For Honor, getting back some current and a player base. So that is what you call pulling out Ubisoft. You launch a game that is terrible, and then you patch it and you hope that people come back. But it's a risk.
Pulling out Ubisoft in your book is finish releasing an unfinished game and then finishing it afterwards.
Yes.
So limited development time from, we talk about large AAA studios. By the way, Wildlands, Division, Rainbow Six Siege, although were launched, had way more content and were way better than No Man's Sky. And giving them the excuse because it's an indie studio, that the fact is we shouldn't expect so much from them. You have to remember, blame doesn't fall on us. Blame falls on them. They brought the hype. They brought everything. They didn't come out and tell people, well, these are the visions we have for the future. These are what we plan to add to the game later on. They were more like, it's coming and it's going to be there. And when the game is released, you expect to get a majority of this content. You got nothing. And
But
that
you
is the
see,
problem with it. And that is the problem, as you were pointing out, going along with hype. But yeah, remember, hype sells games. If you want to make money, you have to hype the game up. If you have to bring promises, he promised a game that was completely different from all what we have expected before. And in a way, as you pointed out, he did brought something out that was not there before. But it still felt like a betrayal to gamers because so much money invested, so much time following up, so much talk, hype, and promises, albeit not by gamers, but by the head of development himself. It just wasn't right.
but you see, and you see, it's understandable. But then we as gamers, we have to realize that we have to actually start to take some form of responsibility now. I mean, for too long, we as gamers, we have always been complaining, and at the end of the day, we still support mediocrity. Look at, for example, now No Man's Sky. What it caused is, it actually caused the campaign for no pre-orders, because since that launch, when we didn't actually get to test the game, right? And there are a few games that are released that we can't test, but many people are like, don't fall into the pre-order bonuses, wait until you see the game, or wait until you start to see more footage of the game and you could actually test it yourself. Because up to now, I haven't pre-ordered Battlefield 5. I want to get the game. I am a Battlefield supporter. I do support the franchise. But why haven't I pre-ordered the game as yet is because I'm actually waiting for the beta. I want to test the game because I don't want another Star Wars incident where you promise me content. And as gamers, we always latch onto content more so now. This game will give you this game will give you that. And we're like, that's a lot of content and I'm seeing it, it's worth my money. And then it's like, well, where's the content that you promised? And you're upset. And I would be more upset with Star Wars than No Man's Sky, because No Man's Sky is an indie studio. They're new, they're small. Star Wars is a AAA studio, it's EA, it's DICE. Those are the heads behind it. You can't be releasing a game like that at that stage. And media, again, doesn't always cover the truth. And this is why I always bash the media. And we have to, as YouTubers ourselves, we have to look at it and take some form of responsibility in the way we cover and we rate games. Because if we don't talk about the real issues, yes, the loot box was an aspect of the Star Wars, but it wasn't the only issue, if you understand what I'm saying. Nobody was talking about the gameplay, nobody was talking about that. And that is the true issue now. They addressed the loot box, but is the game better off now? Hell no! It's still crap. So with No Man's Sky, I will never hold Sean solely responsible for the cause of a terrible launch at start, because at the end of the day, yes, you may say, okay, he lied, or you may promises that he didn't keep, but at the end of the day, as an indie studio, you're still working on your game. It was easy for him to just bust out. Like, when he was Radio Silence, he could have continued to remain Radio Silence, and No Man's Sky would have been forgotten. But no, he came out, he talked, and he made the game what it is now. He was like, okay, yeah, sure, I did say certain things at the start. Maybe you all would have misinterpreted, but okay, here's this. You understand? Here's base building, here's farming, here are vehicles. The Atlas Rising, okay, we put in multiplayer, now you're just seeing each other as orbs. But with this new update, this next update, this is making No Man's Sky the game that we as gamers would have anticipated 2 years ago. We're now getting it. And this is why I'm saying 2018, you should get No Man's Sky, because it's a fresh game, it's a new game, it feels good. Paying it for 60-bit, I mean, it's a new game, but I would just really and truly say wait for it on a sale to just save a few dollars. You understand how the economy is these days. But if you have the 60 to spend, buy it. You understand what I'm saying? Play the game, it's fun. It's like Minecraft in space.
It's like Minecraft in space.
It's like Minecraft in space. I mean, let's be real. I mean, yes, there's certain elements of the game that I would say, he could still improve on. I mean, yeah, is random generation with the planets, and they're like massive. And sometimes, yes, the environment feels bleh. You understand? It's like meh. You understand? So if you could put in more NPCs, more aliens, like actual aliens that you can actually communicate with on the planet, rather than just the creatures themselves, I think the game would actually be more fun. I mean, now with this multiplayer element, you could actually build with your friends and be like, yo, I'm in this system, and hopefully they implement a way where you could like track which system you're in and make it easier to find your friends, so you guys can build bases together and do that sort of stuff. But even if you're still playing solo and you just want that immersion, give me more NPCs where I can interact with, like side quests, or I see this NPC, he's a farmer, he wants X amount of minerals to grow this or that or the other. So, it feels a little more fresh. But as the game is now, and as the game is like releasing, it's a good game. So we can't be hating on the man. Can't hate on the man. Stop hating on the man. Hate on ourselves. We need to take the blame. Star Wars is still shit though.
You have some serious issues you need to solve, and Max, I think we need to talk to Fred about it after. But I think your obsession right now with No Man's Sky is, I think you're dealing with the disappointment you have for Battlefield right now. That's not a topic for another day.
But what disappointment I have for Battlefield? I don't have any disappointment for Battlefield. What the disappointment I have is where franchises and big developers, big AAA developers, are stating that they will be giving us a game, right? I mean, we want to hold No Man's Sky accountable for making promises of a game and not holding up to it. But when other companies, other developers do it, we are like, well, it was kind of expected. You understand? Any form of microtransactions, what we say is EA, and we just let them slide. You understand? Unfinished game, Ubisoft is Ubisoft. They might patch it and I might become good again. Call of Duty for Activision. Oh my gosh, why it still have a community for COD? That game is the most boring game that I have played in years. That's why I no longer support it. But why? Every single year, people still buy the game. They still give into it, and then we as gamers, we complain, but we still go and buy it afterwards anyway. So then why only the need for No Man's Sky? When we spend our money, we complain and be like, yo, I want back my money, I want back my money. Why we don't say that for Call of Duty? Huh? If Battlefield was so bad, why people don't say that for Battlefield? Why do we let these other big AAA studios get away with it, and now we want to be hating on the little man? It come like it's supporting local dread. Nobody want to support a Trinidadian businessman, but we want to support the big dogs.
Nobody wants to support a local gaming channel.
Yeah. So big up to all viewers who from international. I mean, I kind of international now, but still, Trinity to the bone.
Okay. Let's get back to the topic at hand, which is No Man's Sky. We just established Fred idea, and I totally agree with Fred. I firmly do not agree with the damn price tag for No Man's Sky. It is not worth $60, even with the free content patch. Because in my book, the game is not only 2 years old, but the game was a slight disappointment earlier on. And as much as people may want to point out, oh, well, you're getting content update. And again, content update, the game being finished. Content is being added, which should have been made from day one. There isn't to say, there's a bad point with No Man's Sky as well, which in my book I find should justify a price drop rather than a price increase. It's procedurally generated there will be constant planets and things on planet. So there isn't a say, oh, let's add new maps. Oh, let's add new aliens. It's like the game already does that. So, oh, let's add a new planet to explore. Nope, planets to explore already there. Maybe they add more cosmetics to the game, but even self with the cosmetics they add to the game, as I say, one of the good points of the game is there's been no mention of microtransaction. Partly believing to me is the fact they don't have it is because they know the disappointed gamers when they with the launch and the controversy behind it. So they're trying their best to avoid situations that can make it look like they're trying to grab more money before firstly finishing the game. And I think that's also behind the name of the update, No Man's Sky Next, which is, in my book, hinting at them planning to bring out probably a new game, maybe not a No Man's Sky 2, probably next game in a different type of game, but based off of No Man's Sky's success. But no, not previously, because it was a sort of iffy success. And I think they're trying their best to erase the stigma that was labeled to them earlier on. And I haven't played it, so I don't want to comment much more on it besides the fact I firmly believe it's crap based on what I observed before. But when the update come out, most likely I will buy it because I want to be unbiased. And as much as I hate it, and I'm telling you guys not to pay the full price for the game, it's my duty in my book as someone who reviews games and comments on games that I should pay for it. And me and Fred could give you all our opinions on it, but we don't hear Fred's opinion, and he's 100% behind the game. Not telling you to play full price for it, but he's behind the fact that you should get the game because it is exciting for the little things it does do. And those minor features Fred talked about is something I can link back to what me and Max talked about during our little E3 stunt, where I talked about what made games like The Last of Us and Monster Hunter and them so much more enjoyable is these little things that immerse you into the universe of the game. I mean, just as how we have the procedural content for planets and stuff, it would be nice to have a sort of AI that could pull out conversation scenarios where you could interact with more aliens and stuff. Because these little things help you to be more immersed into the game. And I think if they had those at the start with the mini quest and stuff, although the game didn't have really story content and multiplayer, people wouldn't be as bad and hate about it because they'd be like, oh, well, you know, there are still little things you could do in the game besides farm materials and search planets. But I think it's a hard thing to do for indie studio, and I learned from earlier on not to follow hypes. I learned to trust my own personal judgment, and I'll always taunt and hunt Fred for this because I told you not to buy Star Wars 2. I don't care what you say. I told you it would not have been
like
good.
A good game. It wasn't looking like a good game. Listen. If you love the franchise like I do, I love Star Wars. Alright? So I love the movies, I love their books, I love their comics, and I love their games. Right? I mean, I want, to be very honest, what I want is another Force Unleashed game. Like on this current generation of consoles. Give me another Force Unleashed. No, it was a good game. But
no, I agree that Force Unleashed was good, but I don't want Force Unleashed, and I don't think anybody who's listening to the stream now, in the future, and anybody who loves Star Wars want our next Force Unleashed games. You know what we want? You know what gamers truly want? Max will 100% agree with me on this, and most people will agree with me on this. We want an Old Republic. No, we want Star Wars Old Republic. We want a new Knights of the Old Republic, because 1 and 2, oh my god, to this day are some of the best RPGs out. BioWare, what have you done? And EA has destroyed you, and that's what
I mean, it's up in the air. But I mean, trying to get back to the whole point. At the end of the day, No Man's Sky, I will still say it's worth the price. Whether or not it's full, whether or not you want to wait on a sale, as I may say, wait on a sale, you never know. You understand? But you should get the game in 2018. It's better from its original launch in 2016. And as gamers, we always tend to be like hating on a game forever. It had a bad launch at start, and you're like, yo, the game is shit. Well, crap, because we might be censored for that. So in 2018 now, yeah, and in 2018 you have those same people being like, oh, the game is still crap. The game should have launched with this at the start, whatnot. Okay, sure, the game should have launched with those things, but if you are a gamer who's still hating on progress, right, but accept stagnation or no development at all, then you shouldn't even consider yourself a gamer, or you shouldn't even try to have a conversation with me, right? I mean, a lot of people will always say, Fred, you're biased with COD. But I think the next podcast, I want to tackle COD, and I want to challenge anybody, any comment section. I mean, as a brother Steve, we're open to having discussions. If you want, you can join our Discord chat, and we
already
can
have a comment saying that you're biased to COD. It's high up in the
then I want whoever made that statement to come and please tell me how I am biased towards Call of Booty. Alright? How am I biased to this booty Call of Duty? You understand? It should be flushed down the toilet.
That's great, Fred. That's great. I thought we was talking about No Man's Sky though.
Sorry, my passion for my dislike for Call of Duty took over. But yes, for 2018, I recommend you buy No Man's Sky, boycott Call of Duty, Battlefield 5 is looking okay-ish, and that's me.
So for a second, what did we say?
Just hold on a second. I was reading some comments and stuff from Redman. Yes, that's catalyst. Yeah, I am saying that even with the content they added, and even though it is free, and I am telling you all again, the content should have been there from the start, especially with the price of the launch. If the game was priced slightly different, lower, maybe $30, $40 at launch, but we have to remember there was a higher price edition, if I remember correctly, friend. There was a higher price edition, huh?
I can't recall if No Man's Sky had like a collector's edition where the price may have been maybe $80 or above, but I think it did launch with the standard price of it being $60, and because of it being old, the price obviously will drop. But if you're stating that now with this update that they're actually rising back the price, I think that is a hit in our faces for that. But then again, it's releasing on Xbox as a new game to the Xbox system, so many people can be like, oh, I paid $6 at launch, and why is it now Xbox is getting new content and better content than I had at launch, and they're paying less? So I can understand the price range when it comes to that. They'll be like, well, I mean, it's a new system, we're releasing it on. If PlayStation guys and PC guys play it one price, you guys have to pay that same price, even though you're getting this content for free. Like, I mean, the content is with the game. So for us, it's just a simple update.
That I'm going to point out and show that is BS in my book, especially when you study that gamers talk about they paid so early on for it, and now people getting it cheap. Let's not forget games like FIFA 18. I'm going to use this as an example. Recently came out with the free World Cup update for you to do the World Cup tournaments and stuff. And I bought FIFA 18 on sale, and FIFA came out last year. And the price dropped even now for the game. So You gotta
No,
ask
but remember,
yourself.
with the World Cup content, it wasn't it didn't come like as a standalone game. It's like the demo. If you understand what I'm saying.
Well, that is
They
what I'm
come with the
pointing out.
demo.
If the excuse most people would say like they paid 60 before and now Xbox getting it cheaper because it was 2 years later and stuff. That is not a valid excuse for saying we should put it at high price. That is
I
an
mean, you're not,
excuse for
you're
like
not,
just
you're not,
beating around
you're,
the bush. No,
you're
I
not
just
putting
I
it at
just
high
going
price.
with what you said and I'm countering.
No,
what you
but then
said.
even understand with games such as FIFA, with any games, we always know that if at some point in time the game will go on sale. Why we would pay $60 for a certain game or even $80 depending on what edition we buy, whether it be deluxe or whatever, is because we want to play it at launch. You understand what I'm saying? So we are like, okay, we are presented with, now this is the price. You know the price can drop, right? If you want to play it now, you pay this price. If you want to wait until a sale and not play it now, then that's up to you. But most gamers, obviously, we want to be with the hype train at that point in time. You want to play the game, you understand? You want to platinum the game first or whatever if you're into platinum and trophy hunting, such as myself. So we pay our money up front. I don't get vexed. I'm not vexed that Xbox, you know, if they was being sold at it at a lower price. But I was just saying, a lot of gamers may be like, that's kind of unfair. So
Life is unfair. We do not care about that. We all know life is unfair. And at the end of the day, I think No Man's Sky, the price they're giving it out now, and as you talked it out, I'm going to hit you back this with what you said from the start. They launched it as if it's a new game because it came out with all the content they originally hyped up and promised for. It is now out now. Xbox players are getting it now for the first time. So to Xbox players, it come like we're now seeing No Man's Sky. And to those guys who are going to play it now for the first time on Xbox, if they never got it before, never got the hype, they are not going to find problems with it, and they're going to try to point out to other people, oh, we never saw nothing wrong with it. The game is great. I don't know what you guys are complaining for. And that is what we're going to expect to see and hear out in the future. But at the end of the day, we're asking us, and we're going to tell gamers now, the main point of the question, and this is the reason for this whole episode today, why we are dedicated to one game, is No Man's Sky in 2018 worth it to jump back into it now? And we already know your verdict from the start, with accepting the price. We're not talking about price now, forget it. Whenever you get the game, you get it, whether you want to pay the $60, you don't want to pay the $60. Is it worth it? And the whole debate, this is the point we're getting to, and I'm going to say my verdict is I agree with Fred. It's time to give the game a second chance.
that's
No Man's
right,
Sky
that's right.
in 2018. Fred, let me finish. No Man's Sky in 2018 is definitely worth playing. And
What
whether you
price?
get it for full price or you get it on discount, take this opportunity because you're finally getting all the extra content, all what you wanted, all what was promised 2 years ago. You finally get that now. And if you have any time to jump on it and ask yourself, should I play it? This is the opportunity. And y'all listen to me throughout the whole video, and y'all know I'm skeptic about it, and I had my so-called hate for it, but I think the game is worth playing in 2018. And this may be a comeback for them, and I am looking forward to it, especially for the news that they will be saying either they're launching No Man's Sky 2, they're gonna add additional content, particularly maybe story content or faction wars, which is something I think people will be wanting to see in No Man's Sky because it's such a large map. So you want clan battles and faction wars and all this nonsense, because that's the next step when it comes from multiplayer. And maybe they might even go crazy and try to jump into the nonsense of the battle royale. Please, dear God, don't do it. But faction war and clan battle.
They will jump down. But
Yeah.
but there you go. Hashtag Space Minecraft 2018. I call it. I take dibs to it. I'm saying that I came up with this space Minecraft. Hear anybody talking about No Man's Sky like Minecraft like space? It's because of me, that Fred. But yes.
Technically, it's because of me, because I brought the reference. But
no. I was always saying, right, that it was
you
like
lie!
I
You're
was
lying
like,
on stream. Oh my god,
viewers,
guys, you
viewers
viewers, you are watching. When I told him earlier on in the stream, I asked him, you know what games it remind me of, and you were quiet. You couldn't remember. You couldn't think of it, and then point out Minecraft.
I can't recall that. Sorry, I know I was always describing it.
It's been recorded.
It's alright. Whatever. That's
I have
your
you
opinion.
on recording. I have
At
you
the
on
end of the
recording.
day,
Sir.
I won this debate, right? Because I'm always right. So
It was not a debate.
The next game talk, we shall be taking on Call of Duty. I really want to take on a Call of Duty fanboy. Please come out of the shadows. Please come and challenge me, Dark Fred, and tell me and explain to me why I should invest money in Call of Duty. And I will tell you why you should invest money in Battlefield.
The views of Dart Fred are the views of Dart Fred and not of the Brothers of Steel.
I 100% agree with Max. The views of Dart Fred is Dart Fred alone and not all of you.
Brothers of Steel, Dark Fred speaks for the Brothers of Steel. Dark Fred is the Brothers of Steel.
Alright
Brothers of
guys,
Steel
I
is
hope you enjoyed Game Talk and the annoyance of Dart Fred and Forsaken. Well done as usual and
Oh wait, the annoyance of Forsaken as well, because he was rather annoying. That's what you're trying to say, right?
Not once during the entire stream did I cut off Fred.
Listen,
But Fred, you know, Fred took all
give
my time. He's even cutting me off right now, and we're doing the final talks. Oh my God, Jesus! We are doing the cut off. We're getting ready to end the stream, and Fred isn't even giving me the time of day.
They don't want to hear
You have
you.
to
They want to hear
give
me.
up. You have to give up the timer. And go ahead, Max.
no, you can go ahead Forsaken, you can wrap it up.
Yeah, we're basically
So
wrapping
let me
it
wrap
up
it
now.
up there, alright? So, you were
God.
saying something?
Yeah, God. Okay, so next episode of Game Talk, we will be hitting Call of Duty mainly because we know Call of Duty is coming out with their standalone DLC multiplayer content, which is their loading as their new full game. But we know it's just basically a multiplayer patch for their recent release, Black Ops. Black Ops 3 is basically a patch. That's what I'm going to call it now. Mark my words, Fred. You hear me saying it from now. Battlefield 3. I'm here on Battlefield. Because Battlefield at a point in time kind of tantalizing me. We have to get into Battlefield as well, Fred. But Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is basically a patch.
What do you mean? Black Ops 4, you mean?
And Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4. All of them are patches.
So, what you're trying to say, like, Black Ops 4 is not really a new game, but it's just like a reskin or a patch for Black Ops 3?
We will be tackling that in the next Game Talk. But at the end of this Game Talk with me, Max, and Fred, we have established that No Man's Sky is definitely coming back in 2018, and it is worth buying now. But the price is up to you all to decide.
So there we have it.
Take it
folks.
away, Max.
So there we have it, folks. Thanks everyone for joining in the Brothers of Steel and Game Talk every Wednesday from now on. You can always check out Dart, Fred, Forsaken, and myself right here every Wednesday. And don't forget, tomorrow night, hopefully we can get some Destiny for you. And we'll be looking at Destiny in lieu of the Forsaken edition that'll be happening later on this year. And hopefully Friday we'll be playing some squad up in Fortnite. So that's it for tonight. You heard the man himself. Forsaken and Dartfred have finally agreed on one topic, that you should go and invest on No Man's Sky. So that's it for tonight. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Why you had to call his name first? Anyway, goodbye, folks.